Yes.
We're going.
Hello, everyone. I am Susan Bauer, your National Director of Training, and today you're going to see the four lovely ladies. I feel like the Brady Bunch, you know, when you have these little squares. But I am joined by Ashley Morgan, who's a manager in training. We're going to support this webinar, and we have record-breaking attendance. So thank you all for registering and jumping on. We will record this. We've gotten some requests. I can't be on. Can you please record it? Yes, we always do that. But our features today are Sarah Van Hartensveld and Cheryl Hodges, and they have been having an amazing amount of success with Team Mega Party. So we're waiting for people to just hop on. Ashley, do you? Yeah, I can see. It takes just a couple of minutes. So while we're waiting, Ashley, why don't you go ahead and share a couple of tips about if you want to ask a question, and we want you to ask as many as you like, as well as chat away in the chat box, but there's some tips for that.
Yeah, so just some housekeeping items. Like Susan said, we will record it. So if you registered or somebody registered, you should get a recording in an email sent to you tomorrow. It'll also be posted on the resource, and it'll be on the calendar that's on the resource. So if you haven't checked out the calendar on the resource, it's the same calendar we used on the consultant office, but it's a little bit more front and center, and I think it's turning into a great space to find a lot of things that you need. So check there too for the recording. Questions?
Yeah. And Ashley, just tell them the difference for the resource website in the US and Canada.
Yes,
so granted, but I don't know if everyone knows.
Okay, so the resource.norwex.com if you're in the US, and the resourceca.norwex.com if you're in Canada.
Yep. There you go. And so, I don't know. I think that maybe we're going to get started. It looks like we still have people jumping on, but it's getting a little slower. So we want to honor everyone's time today. And so we have, Cheryl is going to share how you have a Team Mega Party if you have a live party. And Sarah will share how you have a Team Mega Party if you want to do it through Facebook. So even if you're somebody who said, well, yeah, I've never really, that's not my cup of tea to do it on Facebook, or I've never done a live one, I've only done it through social media, I suggest that you just tune in, because I was just so impressed how easy it was when both of them shared. And they both have a little slightly different objectives, but the results are pretty phenomenal. So we're going to start. I want to start by first introducing Senior Executive Sales Leader Cheryl Hodges. She has been with Norwex 10 years now, Cheryl?
Yeah, 10 years.
Yes. And you have been doing Team Mega Parties for the last 2 to 3 years with great success. So I'm going to start just up front, because Cheryl wanted to say, this isn't just me, she does this as a team. So if you're thinking, how do I go about this? I would say, see if you can team up with somebody or a few leaders to test drive it. And her favorite part about doing these, I asked each of them, what's your favorite part about doing this? And it's really the relationship and team bonding, because that is just a natural extension of what comes out of this, along with lots of bookings and that engagement and that interaction with your customers, which is just so all important. So I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl Hodges.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm good? Am I good to go?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, sorry, just checking.
Yep, you sound great.
Okay, thank you. So we in Grand Prairie decided to do a lot, a venue event instead of a mega party online, just because we have such a great customer base here, and lots of us leaders, ESLs and sales leaders all live in the same area. So we did this event where we wanted customers to come without their wallets. So we really just wanted them to come and just check it out, and then maybe have the, be able to win something that night. So there was no real pressure to have to buy anything, which was like really good for our customers. It took the pressure off. So we found our venue, or sorry, so why it worked. So we can go to the next slide. Ashley, are you the slide girl? Perfect. So leaving your wallet at home in hopes that customers would come and book a party. And then how we had the demo set up, the customers were all very excited to purchase and attend a party. And we all only made it an hour long, which was also enticing to our customers because they knew that the time investment wasn't going to be, you know, a 2 to 3 hour evening. And it was a great platform for new consultants starting because they could, you know, advertise it as, I'm starting this new business, come to this event. And then having the support from their upline leaders that evening was like amazing because everybody helped each other out. So that was like awesome. You can go to the next slide. So when I find there's lots of value when people can come to this event or come to an in-person event and actually, you know, meet the person, shake their hand, look them in the eye. That's where really, you know, the relationship starts. And the team culture that happened at this event was absolutely amazing. We all worked together as a team. There was some people on our team we hadn't even met yet. We've talked to on the phone, but we haven't, you know, they hadn't made it to a team meeting yet, and they, you know, made the effort to come to this event. So it was absolutely crazy. And I think there is actually a picture of all of us, yeah, coming down the pipe here. There's a picture of everyone that participated. So the team culture was absolutely amazing. There was huge team bonding and culture. So that was great. Next, yeah, find your venue. So we did ours at a hotel. We got a super duper deal on a hotel venue. But this can happen anywhere. So it can be in the basement of a church. It can be at a hall, any place that you can find a really good deal. We structured our event that we charged our consultants $20 and the $20 that we charged the consultants. And that's a very small investment in your business as a consultant, but that's the money that we got from our consultants that actually went and paid for our venue. So that gives you some options. You don't have to charge your consultants if your venue is free, maybe. So you can get really inventive and really creative on where your venue is going to be at. Ultimately, you have to look at your guest list. If your guest list is going to be huge, then that'll be a bigger venue. If you're a smaller team, the venue doesn't have to be a huge venue. It can be actually in somebody's house. If you had a big open area, we did a bingo event. One of our first bingo events, a consultant did right in her living room. So it doesn't have to be a big space. So next, so when you find your consultant, so I advertised it as an investment in your business. So pay $20 and just get the opportunity to increase your bookings and get your business going. And each consultant at our venue was able to invite 10 customers. So I basically advertised it on my Facebook team page and through email that the first 10 consultants to pay their money got their spot. And like I said, those 10 consultants were able to invite 10 of their customers. And I think we had around 60 to 70 people show up. So, so it was very successful that way. And then what we did for the consultants at the event, so they could, to increase attendance, is we actually decided to give the consultant a prize who had the most people there. So that got also the consultant excited to invite lots of people. So that was kind of a little side incentive we did. So we set up the room where we had tables where the customer sat at, and then in the beginning of the room or the front of the room, we had all of our demo tables. And we decided our demo tables to be very host reward driven. So all of our host rewards for the next month, so we did this at the end of February, we did all of our demos based on what our host rewards were for March. So we picked out, 6 of our favorite products on the host rewards and did a demo table for each of those products. We literally had a dishcloth there with water and flour and did like a demo with and how awesome the dishcloth works with that. We did the dust mitt. We did, we picked our demos very strategically. And then we added an opportunity table, and we added the famous black light demo. So that's what you see pictured in the slide. So we actually, made the effort of putting up a camping tent with it darked and blacked right out. And then we did the black light demo with the glow germ dust, just to show how effective the EnviroCloth was. Of course, the butter demo would be just as effective. So that's kind of how we did our demo tables. One thing that we strategically did though, was we placed our opportunity table right after our EnviroCloth demo, just because the EnviroCloth had such, it was really, really exciting to watch because people were so wowed that immediately after that, we went into our opportunity. That's how our demos were set up. So they literally knew that they could join Norwex and get, an EnviroCloth like right off the hop. Like that was something free in the kit. So, yeah, next slide. Thanks, Ashley. So as they visited the demo tables, we made a passport. So the whole event was called Journey to, or something passport, what is it called? Passport to Green and Clean. So the passport that we designed, on the back side of it, they actually got a stamp every time they visited a demo table. So you can see with a good old bingo dabber, we would have the consultant stamp the passport as they visited each demo table. And then on the front side was all the information and details that you would write down if you had a booking, because that was the whole idea. So as they visited the tables, they got the stamp. And then when they returned to their seats, we told them that if they booked a party, then they would get entered in another draw that we had. We had 2 draws. They would get entered in with the grand prize draw. Am I doing okay? Is everyone good? I just need a thumbs up from somebody.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
quiet. It's quiet over here. Okay. So the prizes, so I just mentioned that there was a grand prize for if you happen to book a party, and then there was a prize if you came just as an attendee. So you knew you were going to be entered in a prize no matter what. The prize that everyone was entered in for, no matter what, was just a spa basket that we had each consultant just bring a personal care product, and we just bundled it all up as a spa package. And then the other prize package that we had was, it was a travel package just to kind of spin off the theme of using a passport. So we did a whole bunch of just dollar store items like a neck roll, and you can see the luggage tag in there. Some Norwex travel items as well we put in there, just to make the basket kind of a travel themed. But we also put in a travel voucher, which was quite a big deal because we live very far north up here, and when anytime you have a chance to get out of town, it's a big deal, especially if you use that travel voucher towards a flight. But really the travel voucher that we made was just cold hard cash. And if you zoom in enough on that slide, you can see that there's some 50s and couple $100 bills. And that came from our leaders. So our leaders decided that we'd all just pitch in, $50. So we came up with a $300 travel voucher or $300 cash as our grand prize. And the only way you could get your name in for that grand prize was by booking a party that night. And it was easy to get the bookings because everybody in the room, all the customers in the room would have saw all the demos and they were so excited to buy something. So it was just as simple as everyone would just kind of look at each other, all the customers, and say, okay, so who's going to book the party here? Because I want to purchase something you know, my friend wants to purchase something, the lady across the table, you know, so it was really easy for someone just to put their hand up and say, hey, I'll host. And then their name got put in for the grand prize. Or maybe you had multiple customers, you know, want to host. So that's how our prizes worked. And you don't have to get fancy with cash. There's so many different ways to do prizes. You can do a gift card tree. You can have consultants just donate gift cards that are just hanging out in their wallet anyways. And you can make yourself a little gift card tree, which is really enticing, especially in the fall right before Christmas. You can, you know, contact your direct selling friends and get them to donate prizes and make a basket. And then we even did one time a Father's Day themed basket. So we did this back right before summer, and we had a Father's Day where we had a lawn chair, a barbecue. I think we had a fishing rod, some beef jerky, and some Twizzlers, and we just had a really fun like package put together. And that was really enticing for people to also want to book a party because they wanted all that stuff to give to their dad like in the next few weeks for Father's Day. So the baskets can come really easy. It doesn't have to be cold hard cash. It can be anything that, you know, that's more inexpensive. Okay, I think we can go to the next slide. So one thing that we also wanted to do was we wanted everybody, all of our customers, to leave with a gift. So we did some grab bags. And the grab bags were super easy. We got a really good buy on just some white paper bags and a really good buy on some tissue paper just from a wholesaler or from a supply store. And we put, so each consultant, as they booked their tables, was responsible to make sure that every single guest had a grab bag. Us leaders arranged to have the gift bags and the tissue paper, but we wanted everyone to leave with something. So the consultant at their table would just have their grab bags arranged, and each customer took one home. And the grab bags, just, you can put so much stuff, like there's really like an endless amount of things that you can put in a grab bag at a consultant event or at a Norwex event. So, you know, always a catalog, the Safe Haven 5 brochure, now that those are out and awesome. You know, product samples are so easy to do. Like the laundry detergent is super easy to do. A little spray bottle with, you know, some sports sign in it. Was a really great sample. You can also buy the little liquid laundry detergent samples. It was easy to fill that bag up. Maybe not fill it up, but it was easy to put like lots of products into it. And it was just a really nice way to end the evening by everyone getting like some sample products. So that was really fun to do right at the end. Next slide, Ashley. Okay, so you're not alone in this. So there's lots of help, and you know, so you can ask your upline, and your RSM might be able to give you some ideas. Just remember that you're not alone, and it's easy to, you know, just reach out. And I mean, if your upline even wants to maybe donate a shopping spree or some extra products, everybody has extra products laying around. It comes quite easy when you're just starting to, you know, really mesh things together. So just don't be scared to ask for help. I just talked to a consultant today, actually in Calgary, that's doing, she's doing a mega party at her house. And it was just so nice to be able to talk to her, find out what she was doing for a prize, offer her, you know, a $50 shopping spree. And it just made her event. She just was so thankful and just, oh, thank you so much. Like just a little can go a long way sometimes when you're helping your downline with an event. So yeah, so that was really good. And then my team, my amazing team. So this was not possible, obviously, without them. So Brittany Backus, she had the passport idea, and it was such an aha moment when she came up with the idea. We all like just sat in our chairs for a minute and just thought about all the possibilities with actually getting something stamped as they went through the room. And then my other wonderful leaders, Jenna, Jessica, and Candy, and then Jessica Noren, she designed the passport that you all see. She works with Publisher app, so it was easy to throw that together. I know the other leaders in Canada that have taken the passport idea and turned it into a healthy home event idea. So they took the same idea a double-sided passport, and they designed kind of the same, they mapped out stations and did kind of the same thing. So it's endless on what you can do with the passport theme. So that was really good too.
And is that it, Cheryl? Is that your last slide?
I think that's my last slide. Yeah.
Oh, well, first of all, what you didn't see is everybody saying, thank you guys for doing this for us. So while it seemed quiet on your end, we were watching the chat. And we'll wait till the very end to get to questions. I think that's probably the best thing. So I think now I would like to introduce Vice President Sales Leader, Sarah Van Hartensveld. And Sarah, you have been with Norwex 6 years, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And you have been doing Facebook mega parties for over 3 years. So you have quite a few under your belt as well. And
yeah,
I think you said that you kind of figured that you've done 12 to 15 of these with your team.
Yes.
So, you know, lots of learning along the way. You know, when you start out at something and then you do it a little more and you do it a little more, and pretty soon you have something that's like, wow, that just works really well. So she's going to share a lot of tips and how she organizes it and the benefits of doing a Facebook mega party. And Sarah's favorite part about doing these is seeing the reactions of the consultants on her team, because it builds their confidence. And it also builds customer loyalty. Two things that you really want. So what a great way to achieve that and really to help support your team, and actually everybody on the team benefits. So I'm gonna, Sarah, you can take it away, and we'll get to questions at the end. So thank you, Cheryl. Stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. I really appreciate the opportunity to share. So, hey, everybody, I put quite a bit of text in my slides so that if you need to go back, you can kind of see what I do and what steps I think are important, because I find with social media training, it's sometimes you just kind of need to see it in front of you. Like, what does this look like? What do I need to be doing step by step? So I hope that's helpful. So a Facebook mega party is an online event that really just grabs the whole idea of social selling, not just social in terms of like me selling to you in a relationship context, but also the idea of selling with a lot of people purchasing and generating excitement at once. And this is especially works well when you're doing it in a flash sale context. So I have done mega parties both just as a normal Facebook party that has multiple hosts, which are normally my consultants on my team inviting different customers of theirs, or primarily we do it on our team as a way to generate customer loyalty through flash sales. So I've held them in both an event and a group on Facebook, and I do find that the event gets better attendance and better engagement because Facebook is really good at reminding people about events. And so the only downside to an event is that you cannot do a third-party posting service like SynthShare or Post My Party. You have to do it just actually live. And so it can be a pretty intense half an hour, but I do find that the results make up for that. So why should you do a Facebook mega party? My favorite thing is that it creates incredible team culture as you work together. And Cheryl, I really loved that you said the same thing about doing one in person. And I just find that it's a really good way to work together as a team. Sometimes it feels like we're all kind of doing our own parties here, there, and everywhere. And this is something we do together, and it makes it really a powerful impact. It also is really great for people on your team who are new or who are casual or who haven't done anything online. It gives them a way to press the easy button and shows them how to do things so that they feel empowered to continue on. If you are going for a promotion, this is a fantastic way to boost team sales and help people collect their $250 orders that they want to put in for your promotion in a really easy way. And a lot of times when people are going for promotion months, they're like, oh, I feel like it's all about me and not about my team. And I have found that doing this works really well so that you can say to people, we're going for promotion and it's going to be beneficial for everyone. And here's a way that I'm going to help you. Anytime we can offer and give to our team members, it just feels good and it makes it easier for us to talk about a team promotion and it really being a team thing. And then of course, new parties, team members, amazing sales. Every single time we've done one of these events, it's had great results. And so we have found that people come back over and over again to these events because they love them. Ashley, if you want to move it forward, that'd be great. Yeah, so here's an example of one of our most recent events. 52 consultants participated, almost 400 people were live. We sold $25,000. There were 14 bookings, which to me is the best part of the entire thing. And then we had a new team member join. So that's why we do it. So we hold them 3 to 4 times a year max. I used to do them 2 times a year. Now I tend to do them more like 3. And I schedule them to coincide with a team celebration month or to support an upcoming promotion month. One of the tips I have on this is to actually hold the event a few days before the month you're hoping to go for a promotion or you're having kind of a team incentive, because it allows everybody to collect those orders and put them in right at the beginning of the month, so that you're not feeling like, oh, you know, who needs to put in an order still and who still needs help. It really just creates an amazing surge of activity right at the beginning of the month, which always feels really good and helps in a promotion month for sure. So we run them at 8:30 or 9, and they usually last about 45 minutes. So it can be a little daunting, obviously, to think about how do I go from like this great idea to actually doing it. So I'm going to walk you through kind of before, during, and after an event so that you can see how it works on our end. So how I start is I usually create a poll with a few dates that work for me, and I put that on my Facebook team page, and I just ask people to vote for a date that works for the majority of consultants, because this is something that you want the bulk of your team to feel like they can make work in their schedule. And then once I have a date, I create an image that announces the Facebook mega party, and I post it on my team page. And in order to have a consultant become part of the event, they have to agree to the rules of the event. And this is really key. So they're only allowed to invite 15 people to the event, and those people have to be people that have already agreed. So just like a great Facebook party, when you kind of get people to pre-RSVP before adding them to the event or group, this works that way too. So you do not want your consultants just adding people that they randomly think of, and then the majority of people not seeing it or not wanting to actually be part of it. So they can add 15 pre-approved guests, and they have to be asked in a private message or email or text or at a VIP context, because this is a private sale. So these are not Norwex sales. These are flash sales that we have created as consultants. So it's not something that can be publicly shared. Of course, they have to be present and active on the event, because it's going to only be beneficial for their customers if the consultant's actually interacting with them. And we also try to be really clear that this is an event where we are giving some of our commission away in the form of a discount. So sometimes I'll use a Norwex customer special or spend and get, and we might like discount it a little bit more. So in that case, you're not giving away quite as much of your commission. But for the most part, this is giving away part of your commission to really just kind of create customer loyalty. And I also find if we're doing this a few times a year, it kind of takes away some of the pressure to always feel like, should I be doing a sale? Like, when should we do it? Black Friday, Christmas, like when should we run something? This is just a good way to be like, a few times a year, this is what I run for my customers, and your customers kind of get on board with that idea. And then you feel like free to not feel like you need to offer discounts throughout the year. Next slide would be great. So how I have done it, I create a private event, and I use Canva to create a group of like branded sale images, banners, posts, everything that kind of makes it look the same, so that it's really clear that this is part of the same event. I have tried using Photify, but I will say, because it's kind of like really detail oriented, and you're kind of creating a grouping, I haven't found it to be super easy yet, but I'm hoping that might be a possibility, because it would be great to use some of these Norwex graphics. And then big time hype up the excitement. So I usually go live to share the information with my team. Consultants who are regular kind of mega party hosts and consultants with me, I get them to share their experiences and tips, because everyone knows that I think it's awesome, but you want everyone to kind of hear from a new consultant to a really seasoned consultant, why should I be part of this? Is it easy? How do I do it? And then sometimes, especially if I'm looking at it in terms of promotions, I actually personally invite my personal consultants so that they know that I really want them to be part of this. Or if there's somebody who's not, super active on Facebook and you think, I think they would really be doing well at this, just send them a text. Make sure that people on your team know about it, because once someone has done it once, they're always coming back. That's how I found it for my consultants. If they feel like they know what they're doing, they do the rest of them. So in the actual event, once I have created it, then I add in my consultants who've agreed and they start inviting their customers. And then I post once a day in the event for about 4 to 5 days just to get some engagement. So a lot of posting that needs commenting. So one of the great ways to get lots of people seeing the event and excited about it is to get them commenting on different posts. So, like you guys have probably used these for Facebook events, but things like, in the comments, using a movie title, describe how clean your house is right now, or pick which package. One of the most recent ones we did, we had the different clean packages and we asked people to pick their favorite and the one they really want. As a way to also get them thinking about what products do I really want to, see. And then this image about housekeeping, you definitely want to post housekeeping details a couple times because everyone is going to be like, how do I take part? And then when you are running the event, sorry, Ashley, jumping around here. So during the event, numbering the post is really key. So my first post is a welcome post. And I'm getting everyone to always tag the consultant that invited them so that the consultant can see who's there and be ready and interacting with them. Post number 2 is a video, and I title it, What's Norwex All About? So I've used 2 different videos, both effectively. One is the one that I adore, the Real Product, Real Solutions, a video featuring Amy and a few other leaders, and that also has those kids try to pronounce ingredients. I just think that's so powerful, because it just kind of scales it back to like, what are we all about? Most recently, we did a sale on a lot of like non-standard items. And so I did the Safe Haven 5 video as the welcome video, just to kind of give people a basis of what Norwex is all about before we moved on. So the flash sale images are posted about every 3 minutes. I create normally between 12 to 15 sale items. And on every single post with the image, I say, make sure to comment sold and tag your consultant in the comments, because that's one thing that can make this go a lot simpler is they need to tag their consultant so the consultant can see what people have purchased. Another tip is to turn off your notifications for these images, because honestly, it can become a gong show with 50 plus people commenting really quickly. And so you want to be able to feel like you can kind of keep your head above water with what's coming at you. And then even if something is not, like sometimes we put things on sale that are really like higher ticket items, and so immediately you're not getting a million people saying sold. And I encourage my consultants and also the guests to comment with tips that they love about the specific product. And that's actually one of the things that customers have said. I learned so much about these different products during the event, because they're just seeing what different people are doing, like, the dusting mitt, tips for using the dusting mitt. What can you use with the, the bathroom cleaner? What things do people do? So those things kind of help the learning factor. One of my main goals of this event, I know a lot of consultants come in just for the sales, but one of my main goals as a leader is to really help my team build into their future business. So after the flash sale images, the door prize drawing is actually a post to encourage and generate bookings. So there's a video from Norwex Australia that I absolutely love. And it just kind of is one of those, drawing videos, also with amazing accent, just explaining like how easy it is to host a Norwex party. And to get into the drawing, they have to watch the video and then comment on a scale from 1 to 10 with their interest level in booking, and then tag their consultant. And this is my favorite part of the night, because you never know, we obviously don't prejudge, but we never know who's really thinking about it. And they're a part of this great event, they're excited about Norwex, and it's just a really good way for consultants to see which of their customers are interested. So that's where most of the bookings come from, is not actually the consultants just like personally messaging them, but just seeing all of these different people say, oh, I'll be doing an event, I'll do one, I'm a 7, I'm a 5, I'm a 10. And then of course, the last post before we wrap up is about joining the team. And this is a really organic way to build your team, because customers are actually seeing how your team works and the team support and how fun it is on your team. And so people are like, ooh, I'm curious. So that's a really great way to also feature joining your team. So I do a draw for the winner of the door prize. We just give away one prize for the night. And then on my team page, I go back and I remind my participating consultants to do a few things. Go back, check through their posts to see if they have missed any tags, because that can easily happen in the busyness of the night. Make sure you follow up with the people who've ordered, remind your guests who didn't attend, they can still check it out, and then tally up your orders and submit. So it's pretty simple.
Wow. Was that it? Sorry.
I think we've got social media best practices, but I don't know if you want to say that or you want me to.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So Facebook, obviously, there's sometimes the whole concept of like Facebook jail, and you don't want that to happen in the event. So a few different things that Sherry Gauthier put forward as best practices and are totally great tips is to do business with your business identity and business page. Be creative and unique with the images you're using. Personalize your event. This is a big one. In a really fast-paced event like our flash sale mega party, there's a lot of posting and a lot of commenting and a lot of liking. So one of the things that I think could help people not get put in Facebook jail for liking too fast is don't like every comment that your customers make. More comment and reply to them. So I think it's like a certain amount of comments or likes in like a minute that Facebook's like, whoa, this is too fast. So don't feel like you have to immediately do everything because you don't want Facebook to kind of have that triggered on your account. Obviously, sometimes when you're running a sale, it's hard to not say sale or buy. And I've never had a problem with that, but just in general, you want to make sure that you're not using a lot of salesy language. Yeah. So I asked my team for their top 2 questions when they were getting started with a Facebook mega party, and these were their 2 top questions. And the first one was, how do I input these sales? And so when we create images with a discount, we always make it a dollar figure off, not like a 20% or 15% off. We write in a dollar figure. So when you are calculating what somebody has saved, you just look at all the different items they've purchased and you just tally up the dollar figure that they've saved. And when you're entering the orders online, you just enter that total sale or total discount amount under the discount or other category. And then the remaining value is what they owe. So we're not giving a discount on shipping. We're not giving a discount on tax. It's just a certain dollar figure off the product that was on sale. And then we as consultants are giving the discount. Normally, when I create these images, we're doing between a 15 to 20% discount. Every once in a while, we'll do like kind of like the door crasher. So we'll do like a 25% discount on one item. That's kind of like a big bang kind of idea, but most of the time it's about 15 to 20. And I found that it's not so much about what you're offering in terms of discount, it's just the fact that there is one. I did want to thank 3 different groups. My team, the Clean Simply team, they've honestly made this event what it is for our team. You can do all sorts of cool things as a leader, but it's your team that kind of just rallies around the idea. So thank you guys. And then I really wanted to thank Kristen Cloping because she walked me through how their team does this a number of years ago. And it was like really impactful on me and kind of formed the basis of how we do it as a team. So thank you so much. And then also the Canadian Jacket leaders are so lovely. They all share different images that they've created. And so we don't always have to recreate the wheel. And that means a lot of time saved. So thank you guys.
Okay, wow. All right, so I'd like to see the chat just blow up with thank yous. And I'd like to hear, like, what did you learn? What was most impactful? What are your takeaways from learning how to do these 2 very distinct kind of team mega parties? So let's hear from you. And then we're going to get to questions. There's a couple of things that I just noted. One of the things that I think you heard both Cheryl and Sarah say is they're very strategic about doing these. You know, it is a lot of work. You can see there's work that goes into it. That's where the team dynamics really help. But they see it as a way to really build their teams. It's a powerful team sort of culture building use of time. But you're using that time, you're building your team, you're building future business and seeing fantastic results. So I think that those are important. You know, I think that there's certain times a year, and you have to, like Sarah said, you know, she's very strategic about when to do this. Is it when you're going for promotion? Maybe it's a month where you have a lot of new consultants coming on board. And both Cheryl and Sarah have said, you know, this is a way to help them with their new business. They may not have parties. This could be the very first thing that they do, and that just propels them into their own success and their own business. And just like a party, there's the importance of the before, the during, and the after, which they both covered just beautifully. So thank you, ladies, both. At first, when Cheryl said, yeah, I do this leave your wallet at home mega party, and I'm thinking, why would you want people to leave your wallet at home? But you can see that it generates a lot of business, a lot of bookings, so much for the future of your team. And same thing, Sarah, you know, you talked about that you get a lot of sales out of this, but it has the advantage of creating bookings for your team at very specific times during the year. So think about that if you're thinking about doing it. You know, when does it make the most sense? Who can you partner with? Certainly go back and revisit this webinar because they had lots of really fabulous ideas about how to put these together. But I want to say one thing. Sarah, you're so funny. You said, I love this video that I found from Australia, and I'm so glad that you love the Australian accent. But honestly, that came from North America. We have that same video with a I believe a U.S. accent. So Ashley, I think, is going to try to find that and post it to you all, so you have access to it. We do have a couple of those animated videos. One, and that's a great video to send to your host just for a regular party. So that's a little tip for you all. Unless you want to send the Australian version because you just really like the accent, and that's fine too. It's the suggested video. Okay, so Ashley, are you there? Do we want to get to the questions? I'll just start with the first one that I saw, which was from Jamie for yours, Cheryl. She wanted to know why you limit each consultant to 10 invites.
Because of our room capacity. So we, you know, we didn't want to go over our room capacity. So we just kind of, you know, divided up how many chairs we could have, like, per consultant, basically. Yeah. And it was 10 confirmed invites. So they could have invited 20 or 30 people, but it was, you know, 10 confirmed guests attending.
Okay, that's really important. Ashley, what do you got?
Judy wants to know how many times a year do you do this? And I can't tell if it was for Cheryl or Sarah, so why don't you both let us know?
So we typically try to do this twice a year, in the spring and then in the fall.
We normally do it, I would say, 3 to 4 times.
How many?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Okay. Let's see. I know in the chat I caught another one that said, what is the best night of the week to do parties like this? So I think for Facebook and in person, do you guys have preferences on what day of the week?
We did ours always on a weeknight. It was, I believe even midweek, like it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Sarah, how about you? Do you do yours on certain days?
We don't. Like, it's always a weeknight as well, but I just base it on basically my availability and my team's availability, and I've never noticed like a decrease in people based on different nights. No.
Yeah, and I liked how you went out to your team and said, what's the best night? Because there's never going to be a perfect night for everybody. Yeah. And we did have a couple of questions about the passport, Cheryl, like how, and I think you covered it, but they wanted to know, if they wanted to do something like that. Do you want to just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so the passport, like I said, we had a TC on our team that's really good in Publisher. So I'm pretty sure like there's so many ways to do awesome graphics nowadays. I think I would reach out to the talents of my team and just find out if there's someone who could put it together based on the visual that I'm like that I'm giving you. It doesn't have to be this fancy. It really doesn't have to be this fancy. If I had to create it myself, it wouldn't have been, you know, I would have had a spot for each stamp, but it doesn't, you know, just a double-sided one stamp, you know, one side to stamp and the other side, all your customer information. It doesn't have to be a crazy graphic. Yeah.
Okay. Ashley, did you see more?
I have some questions about the videos. So the videos Sarah referenced, we will share the link. So if you registered for today's webinar, you're gonna get an email and it'll include a link to the recording of today's webinar. And I'll also add the links to the, I think it was 3 to 4 videos total that you referenced, Sarah, and we'll share those in the same email so everybody can just have everything in one spot.
That's great, Ashley. I don't know. I don't think I have any more. Are there any other questions?
Let me go through the chat. I did see a few other questions because we have a few more minutes.
Cheryl, do you do a no wallet party, but Sarah, you mostly do a sale? Cheryl, do you find that you get sales too, or is your focus so much on booking and recruiting?
Yeah, our focus is bookings. So if somebody wants to buy something, then we tell them they have to have, somebody has to host. So we kind of put that pressure on
them. Of people together to, like you said, then people will say, well, I want to buy something, and then somebody will say, oh, okay, well, I'll host a party. That was what I got out of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's magic.
One of the number one reasons that people don't want to host a party is they're afraid that no one will come. That really is true. Like statistically, that's true. So,
and we give them an opportunity too. I just add, Susan, like on their passport, I guess I could have spoke to this earlier, but there's a spot to start you're writing down your guests for your party. So you can write down everyone's name right at the table and they're kind of locked in to come. So that's really good too. It takes, like you said, the pressure off. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Ashley,
some Facebook questions. So Sarah, for the Facebook party, are customers required to order during the event only?
So because it's our own personal sale, there's actually no limit on what we could offer it. But what we do just to create a sense of urgency is we say you have to order within the next 24 hours so that they're able to kind of wrap up these sales. I saw another question too, is it's not just one person who can order the flash sale item. There are it's unlimited because you have 400 people who they all might want to purchase. So of course it's not just 1 or 2 things for sale, but they just have to comment sold and tag their consultant. So
you do these in events, right? I think you said this during our planning call too, that you've tried a group before, but you found doing them in an event on Facebook is better for you.
Yes.
And I'm just going to comment to the social media best practices that Sarah shared, because those are really important. And I know that I think one person said, oh, I'd just love to kind of recreate what you do. I mean, one of the reasons that we don't have a templated Facebook party is if everybody went out and did the exact same thing, it really, Facebook notices that kind of thing. So I think that it's just important to, if you're putting this together, make sure that you read what those tips were, because they came directly from our social media team. Okay.
I was going to say too, I saw somebody ask, do I set this up for my personal Facebook page or my business? I would love to be able to set it up for my business page, but unfortunately it's always a public event when it's from a business page. And because I'm running a personal sale, I cannot do that. So it's set up through my personal group, or sort of my personal profile, and then I create it so that it's a private event so that people cannot find it, because I don't want it to become something where random people are trying to purchase, and we really want to abide by the compliance guidelines that kind of serve us all as consultants when you're doing these events.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that the parties you book from your events, whether it's Facebook or your in-person mega parties, do those parties end up sticking pretty well on your calendars? Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say yes to that question. I guess that's the host coaching would be a huge, yeah, part of that, but yeah, absolutely.
Another question for Sarah. Have you tried this in Squee?
I haven't tried it in Squee. I think one of the things that would make it a bit tricky in Squee personally is I feel like the comments would get muddled pretty fast. One of the things that I like about Facebook for this context is that everybody will be commenting on that one image. So if you were going to do it in Squee, you'd have to do it differently, probably a lot more like a Google form oriented. And I think one of the parts of the magic of this is everyone else is seeing how many people are purchasing an item, and that creates an incentive and like, wow, they must be like, what do they not know about this? Like, it must be an amazing deal. So if they don't see that interaction, then people will probably be a lot more like just kind of watching, and you really want people to get into it. So I'm not sure it would transfer as well, but I think there's ways you could do it in Squee.
You just not be effective on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you guys do these events only for past customers, or can your consultants invite people that are maybe new to Norwex or don't know Norwex yet?
Everybody's invite, like, yeah, both.
Bring them
yes,
all.
to both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for the Facebook one, I encourage my consultants to have them be past customers, because Norwex has value at full price. This is a way to kind of create customer loyalty. So you don't want to have your only purchases be basically always discounted. So this is a way to kind of bring people back and have them have this be their second, third, fourth, fifth Norwex purchase, not their first. But I'm not going to say no if somebody's like, oh, this person's so keen, because yeah, they're probably going to book a party and they're going to get really excited about Norwex. So, you know, a little bit of nuance there.
Yeah, I like that. That has sound reasoning why you do it. You know, why you want people to bring past customers.
Do you guys have any tips? Just a few more questions because we're almost out of time. But do you have any tips? I've seen a couple questions and some comments in the chat. Maybe for somebody who is a newer consultant or isn't connected well with a large team that does events like this, that's interested in maybe getting plugged into something like this or starting on their own. Any tips or tricks or suggestions for somebody to start on a smaller scale?
Well, for me, you know, the inspiration for this actually came from a consultant who did a bingo event in her house. So it was a leave your wallet at home, come play bingo, and maybe win something Norwex, like, you know, win something and it's a Norwex theme. So yeah, don't, it doesn't have to be a huge, you know, it's really about just taking the idea of an open house and putting a little bit of a spin on it and getting out the bingo cards, or I'm trying to think of another thing that you can do. I can't think of anything right now, but just being able to invite people to your home and having just a little bit of a theme, you know, is enough of an event for one single consultant. Yeah.
Yep, so true.
A couple of things that come to mind. So obviously I run this for my downline and with my leaders, but because it's on Facebook, it doesn't have to be people local to you. You can literally do it from anywhere, and everyone's ordering with their own consultant. So you could do this with other consultants that you know who are maybe orphans or who aren't well connected to a team or just are interested in doing this. If you have a couple consultants that have joined with you, I know we're going to join for free month, like maybe a few people that have joined with you, do it for them and their customers. And then realistically, you could do this just as an event for one or two people. I've also run them for much smaller groups and had success with that too. Probably not as much success as when it's a larger. It seems to be a bit of a tipping point with guests. When you get to be about 50 plus, it gets really exciting, but it works well in a smaller context too. So don't feel like you need to have 50 people doing it all together. You could have 3 people doing it, and you may want to invite, like have more guests be allowed to invite so that the group is bigger as well.
Oh, see, we have Andrea in the chat. Wasn't sure if she could do this by herself at her home because she just redid her basement, and you can. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Andrea, find somebody else and buddy up with them, and it would be really easy. So let's just do one more question. let's see, do you set up a Google form for guests on the Facebook Mega Party, or do they simply contact their consultant?
So that's a great question. I have aspirations to set up a Google form for my team. Haven't happened yet. So this has always just been, I just say to my team, just grab an Excel file or a Microsoft Word file and just be organized. But a Google form would be a great idea. So I should probably do that.
Okay.
Together, you can do this too.
Yes. So I think that we're gonna close. I think we've covered most of your questions, hopefully, and certainly go back and rewatch this because I think you'll just get so many more ideas. So I just want to give a heartfelt thanks for everyone who has joined us, and for our two speakers, Sarah and Cheryl. Thank you so much for sharing something that you built along the way and had such great success with. So thank you so much for doing this for everyone.
You're welcome.
You're so welcome.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody. And remember, just look for the email with the recording. Bye.